Once upon a time, in a field not too far away, there lived a magnificent horse. His name was Comet. He was sleek, he was strong, and most of all, he was super fast. All the other animals in the field admired him. And whenever he went for a run, they'd gather around to watch. "Faster, Comet, faster," they'd shout. And Comet would take great pleasure in showing off for them. He'd toss his head, snort with laughter, and continue running as fast as he could. One day, as Comet was showing off, a small tortoise crawled up beside him and said, "You may be very fast, my friend, but I bet I could still outrun you." Comet stopped in his tracks. He stared at the tortoise for a moment, then burst out laughing. "Oh, little tortoise, you're so slow. How could you ever hope to outrun me? It's quite laughable, really." The tortoise, though, wasn't bothered by Comet's unkind words. "Well, Mr. Horse, if you think you're so much faster than me, then why don't we have a race? We'll start here, and we'll see who reaches the oak tree forest first." Comet looked at the tortoise in disbelief. Did this little creature really think it could beat him in a race? But he was so sure of his own abilities that he didn't hesitate for a moment. "All right, little tortoise, you're on. Let the race begin." With that, Comet took off, his hooves barely touching the ground as he sped away. The other animals watched, cheering him on. And poor little tortoise, well, he started moving as fast as he could, which wasn't very fast at all. But he kept his eyes on the prize, and he refused to give up. Now, Comet was so sure that he was going to win. He decided to take a shortcut through Farmer John's field. As he leaped over the fence, he saw a group of rabbits playing. "Hey, little rabbits," he called out. "Watch me as I win the race against this slow-moving tortoise." The rabbits looked up, but they were more interested in their game. So Comet, being the show-off that he was, decided to play a little game of tag with them. He chased them around, leaping and bounding, having the time of his life. Meanwhile, back on the main path, the tortoise continued moving forward, step by step, never stopping to rest. He was moving so slowly that a butterfly that landed on his shell mistook it for a flower. "What a beautiful garden," thought the butterfly before flying away again, after playing with the rabbits. For a while, Comet finally remembered about the race. He shook his head and trotted along, thinking that even if he took his time, he would still beat the tortoise. But when he reached the river, he saw something that made him stop in his tracks. It was the tortoise. And although he was still moving at his slow pace, he was now on the other side of the river. Realizing that he had lost, Comet felt awful. He had been so focused on showing off and taking shortcuts that he hadn't noticed the tortoise steadily making his way to the finish line. The other animals were there to greet him, and they all looked at him in surprise. No one had expected the tortoise to win. The tortoise, though, was greeted as a hero. All the animals cheered for him and thanked him for showing them that even the slowest of creatures can win if they try their best. From that day on, Comet was a changed horse. He was still fast and strong, but he was also humble and kind. And whenever he saw the tortoise, he greeted him with a smile, for he knew that it was the tortoise who had taught him the most important lesson of his life. And they all lived happily ever after. The end. Oh, and remember, slow and steady wins not only the race, but also respect.